Developing a well-rounded, value-driven marketing strategy that drives thought leadership, community, and traffic. Guess what? That is the topic for today. We are super excited to have hanging out with us here in the virtual studio, Ashley Mason of Dash of Social. Guess what? You're going to get to hear from her and meet her right after this quick intro. You're listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. Don't you move.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right. Hello, everyone. We are so excited to have you here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, where the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And guess what? That's what we're going to do today. So we know that our live streaming platforms are sending out notifications. So welcome to all those that are coming in live from 3 different places in Facebook, on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. You might be at Sharvette.com. And then certainly we've got to shout out those that check out the talk radio show version of this on Blog Talk Radio and our podcast listeners. Oh my goodness, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and certainly Apple Podcasts. You are always leading the pack. So thank you so much for being here with us as always. And this segment is brought to you by my 4th book collaboration, Pearls. I am so excited. It officially released last week. It is available everywhere. If you are listening in from Sharvette.com, you can right now go there and purchase your copy of Pearls. It is a book collaboration, and I joined forces with 10 of my clients that are in my platform builder program. So shout out to the other co-authors, Carmen, Jimenez Pride, Erica Brooks, Kathy Staten, El Tomei, Varlak Butler, Natalie, Brian, Pat Dyer, Penny McPherson, Spring C. Jackson, Dr. Tamara Diaz, and Dr. Valerie Harris are our co-authors in Pearls. So it is available everywhere again, but you can certainly pick up a copy directly from us at Sharvette.com. And we'll tell you a little bit more about it later on here on the show. Welcome to all those that are coming on in. Kim and Deborah over on YouTube in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely. Yes. My birthday was yesterday. I celebrated a birthday, another trip around the sun, as they say, yesterday. So I am still in celebration mode. So if you're saying, oh, Sharvette, I would have gotten you a gift, no problem. You can just buy pearls. That can be my gift. So let's go ahead and introduce our guest who is with us in the virtual green room. She might be enjoying some virtual snacks or some virtual drinks or things of that nature. And listen, if you are here live, I want you to tag a business bestie. I want you to tag an entrepreneur. We are all talking about marketing. You know, as a marketing consultant, I'm always bringing content for this platform for our entrepreneurs and our business owners. And so let's bring up our guest today. Ashley Mason is the founder of Dash of Social, a content marketing firm specializing in social media marketing, oh my goodness, strategy, marketing strategy, blogging, email marketing. She works closely with clients, and her team works closely with clients such as small business owners and entrepreneurs to craft and execute value-driven marketing strategies designed to establish thought leadership, grow online communities, and build connections and leads. And Ashley is a graduate of Stonehill College, where she received her bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in marketing, and has been featured in prominent publications such as TEDx, Business Insider, and HuffPost. Now she can add the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Go ahead and put your virtual hands together. Listen, I see you tagging already. Thank you, Dana. Go ahead and put your virtual hands together as we welcome up to to the virtual stage, Ashley Mason. Hello, Ashley. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Sharvette. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in live with us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are glad to have you. And so let's get started actually from the beginning. I love to kind of talk about the essence and how things got started. So how did you fall in love with marketing or get into the marketing space?
Yes. So great question. Long story short, just over 10 years ago. So it's crazy to think that 2012 was 10 years ago, and it feels like it was really 2 years ago. But back in 2012, I started a fashion and lifestyle blog that I dedicated a lot of time to. So I basically was treating it as if it was a part-time job and spent probably at least 10 to 15 hours per week generating content, being able to map it out, write it, all of that stuff. However, I noticed that there was two issues with that. One being that if I was going to spend so much time on it, I should find a way to monetize it and get something back for the amount of energy I was putting into it. Yeah. And secondly, I also wanted to make sure that it wasn't just my family who was reading my blog posts. I wanted to make sure I was reaching the right audience. So I said to myself, what can I do that will really help me to monetize my blog and also ensure my content gets seen in front of the right audience, which at the time was high school and college age girls, because I was a high schooler at that time. Okay. And I realized that social media was the answer. So from that point, I had only used social media as a personal use, and then therefore started to teach myself how to use it from a business sense. Being able to grow my blog and therefore become a micro influencer with various companies, I was then opened up to this awesome community in the blogging world that actually led me to take on freelance marketing gigs here and there. So one thing that I've always been as well is someone who's really entrepreneurial minded and knew that one day I wanted to own a business, but never knew what that business would be until I ended up taking these freelance marketing gigs and thinking to myself, this is it. This is exactly what I want to do with my life. I want to own a marketing agency. But at the time, I was about 17, 18 years old when I was freelancing. I had always felt that society placed a predetermined path for us since a young age. So you're kind of expected to go to school, get a degree, work a corporate career for 20 plus years, and then you can go off and start your own company. It's not really encouraged to be able to start your business at a young age.
That's true.
So that ended up changing during my freshman year of college when my mom was actually diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And so that diagnosis just came out of nowhere, made me realize that we don't have as much time as we think we do to follow the things that we're passionate about. And so if there's something that interests us, it's best to go and do it now rather than waiting, because there's always going to be some type of excuse that prevents us from doing what we want to do. Yeah. And then I ended up starting my company when I was a sophomore in college, worked really hard over the next few years to be able to take it full time when I graduated in 2019. And as of last week, we actually just celebrated our 6th business anniversary.
Ah, awesome. Awesome. I love that journey and that track. Certainly, that, that's what so many people have a struggle with sometimes is, I feel like I want to start a business. Should I go down kind of these traditional routes first? And so really like everybody's journey, because everybody's background and all that is different. So it sounds like you definitely did some of the right things, because here you are, and you basically created a job business for yourself before you even got out, before you had to go down that path. So how did you come up with the name Dash of Social?
That's a really interesting question, and it's a question I've actually never been asked before. I honestly can't remember. I think it was kind of like playing, like almost like a plug and chug, like playing around with all these different types of words. I knew I wanted social media in the name because when I first started, I only offered social media. So I knew I had to have social somewhere in there. And then I think I was like cooking or something, and the term like dash of kind of like popped up, and it just kind of led me to there to say, oh, dash of social. And I was like, I actually kind of like that. So it has stuck.
It has stuck. So why is it so important that small businesses and entrepreneurs think about their marketing and really consider marketing one of the key things to focus on?
Yes. So I say that the old term, build it and they will come, is no longer relevant. Meaning just because you offer a great product or service doesn't mean that people are just going to start flocking to you. You really have to start doing the work to attract and build relationships with these people yourself and be able to establish thought leadership and build credibility with your audience. So marketing is an excellent way to position yourself as an expert in your industry. As you shared in my bio, it's an awesome way to be able to expand your connections and build a community who loves who you are and what you do. And it's a great way to honestly have this corner of the internet to house everything you do. Because although word of mouth marketing is great, you really need almost like a hub that can accurately describe all of the services that you're offering to make it easy for people to purchase from you. Because that's ultimately what you want to do with your marketing. You want to make it really easy for people to hand over their money to you, or else you're going to end up losing those conversions.
Yeah, and I love a post that's on you all's Instagram, which FYI, if you are listening and connected with me on Instagram, there's a post with Ashley and Dash of Soul. So very simple, at Dash of Soul, go there. But there's a post that says, if you are marketing to everyone, you are marketing to no one. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So this actually idea for that post came from me because I've worked with clients before who have felt that it would be beneficial for them to be on every single social media platform because they have the ideology that if they're on every single social media platform, they can reach more people and therefore hopefully get more sales. However, that's an extremely broad focus to have with your business. And it makes it really hard for you to get specific about the people that you serve and how you can support them. So when you're able to really identify who your ideal client or customer is, then you're able to do an analysis to see which social media platforms they're using, how they consume content, what type of content they like to consume. And therefore, it allows you to create a marketing strategy that serves the people that you're looking to reach. And then you can be much more intentional about the people that you're connecting with and therefore help to establish yourself as that expert.
All right. So I know there are so many people that say, my whatever, my soap, my book, my service is for everybody. And so it's not to say that certainly we, agree that a lot of different people can use it, but that clarity on who you're really going after is the key thing, that you want. Welcome again to all those that are coming on in. Hey, Jasmine. I think Jasmine Candles. I think I mentioned Candles. We're glad to have you. And so you're listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We're talking to Ashley Mason. Oh my goodness, Dash of Social. And we're jumping right on into our topic, developing a well-rounded, value-driven marketing strategy that drives thought leadership, community, and traffic. And so let's deal with well-rounded and value-driven. And some people might even say, well, what is a marketing strategy, or how do you or Dash of Social kind of define a marketing strategy?
So that ties into the phrase that you just mentioned, which is well-rounded. I have spoken with so many business owners who think that using Instagram and Instagram only is the key to their success. And that makes me a little bit scared when people say that Instagram is the only platform or even marketing like effort or tactic in general that they're relying on, because ultimately what you're doing with that is you're putting all of your eggs in one basket. And I've seen time and time again where people have their Instagram accounts hacked and they lose access, or they're accused by Instagram for violating the community standards and their account gets deleted or taken away from them, and then they're left without an account at all. And so if you spend all of that time focused on building up only your Instagram account and you don't have a website, you don't have an email list, you're not using other social media platforms, if your Instagram account is taken away, does your business still exist, or is your business gone because you've put all of that time, effort, and energy into only one tactic? And so by developing a marketing strategy, you really want to think of your marketing as an ecosystem. All of the different methods and pieces tie together and talk to one another. So that involves having a website, using various social media platforms, but again, only the ones where your ideal audience exists on. Also being able to have an email list, using blogging. Maybe you're considering paid ads. Maybe you're doing PR, such as this, getting on a podcast or a radio show and being able to expand your reach that way. you really want to make sure that you're diversifying your efforts, ultimately, is what it comes down to. So that way you're strategic and intentional with who you're reaching and how you're going to reach them.
Love that. All pieces of a puzzle. And so like
Yes.
literally you just have one piece of the puzzle. It might be a big piece. It might be a corner piece. It might be the piece that makes you feel like, oh, I can put it together. But if you don't have the other pieces, and also I love that you say they interact. They really play off of each other. So if I land on your Instagram, I should be able to get to your website. I should be able to get to another step. Have you run into business owners who have like private Instagrams? Like are
Yes, I have sometimes, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
Because how are you going to expect people to see your content if they have to be following you first?
Yeah.
Also, too, we don't work with clients unless they have a website. So with the reason being, if you're generating all of this awareness and engagement and building a community on social media, but you don't have anywhere to drive these people to where they can learn more about who you are, what you do, and how you help, then the efforts are kind of wasted at that point. And now you're spending all this money without leading your audience members further down in that funnel. And so that's why it's so important to be able to, exactly like you said, Sharvette, have these places on all of your marketing touch points that lead people from one place to another.
Lead them. Terry Jo said, this is good info. Thank you for listening. And we agree that you're finding value in the content. And so thinking about you giving certainly the marketing strategies, kind of like laying out thinking from a bird's eye level. So some people might say, okay, I feel like I'm doing some things. However, I'm not seeing results. And so I definitely I love how you say in this kind of topic, what drives thought leadership. So there's three things we want to deal with today: that your marketing strategy is driving thought leadership, community, and traffic. So let's deal with thought leadership. What's your take on that, and how that is impacted by marketing?
Yes. So thought leadership ultimately is the act of producing content online that positions yourself as an expert in your industry. So that might be sharing a case study of an awesome experience that you provided to a client or a customer. It might be sharing tips related to your zone of genius. It might be writing a blog post on a thought or topic that you have. Whatever it may be, it's ultimately generating and creating this type of content that when people read it, they think to themselves, wow, this person really knows their stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to be able to almost demonstrate your expertise, which is what it does, because that way, when someone's ready to hire a marketing agency or hire a photographer for their branding photo shoot, because you've demonstrated time after time that you know what you're doing, you'll be the first person they think of when they're ready to take that next step.
There you go. Thought leadership. And those that have been following me for a while in Mitchell Productions, Ashley and I are saying and preaching the same thing. I love layers. Thank you, Tina. She said, this is great. I need this. Awesome. Keep it locked. And matter of fact, while people are watching and listening, how can they connect with you, connect with your company, and what services do you all offer that they can tap into?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is dashofsocial.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dash of Social. And the services we offer are social media management, marketing strategy, blogging, and email marketing.
All right, there you have it. And she already said one prerequisite is you need your own website. Okay, so community. One of the best things that I ever did was start a Facebook group. Hey girl, hey to ladies that are in my community, which drove actually a conference, 6 conferences under our belt now, going into a retreat.
That's amazing.
Yeah, community is so pivotal. Talk about that.
Yes. So social media is meant to be that, social. And so that's exactly why it's so important to be able to build a community of people who will share your content, who will refer you. I always say that referrals are the best compliments. People who are excited and ready to purchase whatever service you launch next or product you come out with. It's really important to almost have that hype crowd around you that's ready to give you their money ultimately, or refer you to someone who will. And so that's one of the things that I've spent a lot of time doing over the past 6 years is I don't have my own Facebook group, but I'm very active in other people's Facebook groups, which is how a lot of my clients have found me. And
Yes.
because of that, and because of the relationships I've built with both my clients and the people within those groups, now I would say a lot of our leads are almost on autopilot. We get a lot of referrals that come through from people who have worked with us before or have honestly just seen our name and haven't even worked with us themselves, but just see us out there. It's really great to be able to build that community who is constantly doing that word of mouth marketing for you and vouching on your behalf, which gives you that much more credibility to the people who are interested in hiring you and working with you.
Yes, and nurturing the community really brings, and I love, like, you don't have to have your own Facebook group, but if you tap into community, period, which is the theme I'm certainly hearing from you, that is going to pay off. There is
Yes.
someone I follow online. His name is it's Kevin Fredericks. Those of you that know Kev on stage, him and his wife released a book called Marriage Be Hard, and that's spelled incorrectly on purpose. And so he was working with his publisher, and the publisher was setting up like different book signings, and the venues the publisher was picking were like really small, like small venues. And Kevin was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I know my community. Like, I know, like, this picking a small venue will only like piss them off. Like, we know. And so then the editor was like, well, we've done this for, this, high name author, and this, high profile author, and they only brought in this many people. And Kevin, who is a comedian and knows like what he books, he was like, I'm telling you, I know my community. And the book came out like officially like last week. They're on the New York Times bestseller list. He was like, I know my community. So it's all like about the community. So great. Now traffic, which is a big thing. Like, okay,
Yes.
and leads and converting. Talk to us about traffic.
Yes. So perfect timing with this, because I actually just published a post about this on my social media profiles last week. And it's the whole concept of your marketing means nothing if your website sucks. And so with the whole point being that, like I mentioned, social media, the blog that you write, the newsletters that you send out, they all should lead back to your website, because it's your website that's that central hub of being able to describe who you are, what you do, and how you help. So social media almost acts like a vehicle where, as I mentioned earlier, it helps to grow your audience, nurture them, keep them engaged, and then influences them to make that next decision to go to your website, which is ultimately where your website is responsible for converting them to becoming a paying client or customer. So this is one misconception that many business owners have, is they say, well, how many leads can I get from organic social media, or how much business can I get from it? And I always say, that's not a guarantee at all.
Right.
And it's because of the fact that you need to focus on that website traffic, which is where the website will end up helping people to take that next step in the buyer's purchasing decision. This happens to me all the time, where me being in marketing myself, I'll have someone who will book a free consultation call with me, and they will literally say, I've been following you online for 3 years, and I'm finally just ready to reach out. And so that's the importance of having that long-term game and being able to understand that it's not just your social media itself that's going to convert people, but all of those other pieces within that marketing puzzle.
Yes. And that well-rounded, value-driven marketing strategy, it all works together. And same, I've certainly had the same thing that people are following you. I even said on a webinar, complimentary webinar we hosted last week, that people binge watch and binge read, the ones that are serious about doing business with you, certainly in this service-based arena. Now, if it's earrings or something that's an impulse buy, maybe not so much. But us in this service-based position, people binge watch and binge read until they're ready to actually take the next step. And so websites, and that we do have actually a complimentary resource on our website that has how to make sure you got your website all together. So that is there. I'm a former web designer, Ashley, so past life. So yes to all of that you said about web design. And so and I also love the fact that you talk about all of these components together. And some of the things you talk about, social media is very high. Like, we got it, we hear about that. But the blogging and email marketing isn't talked about as much in certain arenas. And so, talk a little bit about blogging. Like some people might feel like, oh, that's so 2009, that's so 2015. Like talk about blogging and the importance of that.
Yes. So blogging is an excellent use case scenario for being able to establish that thought leadership. Specifically, if you want to share something about how to do A, B, and C, a tutorial of how to get an inside look into X, Y, and Z, it really just gives you the opportunity to share really educational and valuable content that might not necessarily fit within the standard size of a social media post. If you need a medium where you can share 750 to 1,000 plus words, social media might not be the best choice for that because people like quick and short blurbs that they can pull from compared to a blog post where you're able to go more in depth. Also, blog posts help to drive website traffic, as we were just talking about, where if you're publishing a blog post and you're sharing it on social media or including it in a newsletter that you send out to your email list, being able to have people click on that link and go to your website will encourage them to end up clicking around more on your website and exploring it a bit if they haven't yet. So that's the benefits of being able to include blog posts in your marketing strategy. And email marketing is especially huge because of the fact that you're not necessarily dealing with algorithms like you are with social media. You might get hit with someone's spam filter, or your newsletter might get sent to their promotions tab. But being able to get seen, almost like that one-to-one communication, because it's an email, in someone's inbox can really help to build that relationship. And being able to do so consistently, especially when you're in a period of selling, whether it's during the holidays or if you're just launching something new, you want to make sure that you're communicating with your email list because they're already full of those people who are those warm leads who have expressed interest in you and what you do.
All right. Well said. Well said. And your company certainly offers, as you mentioned, support in all of these areas. Now, the social media management, does that mean that Dash of Social will literally take over social media accounts and run them?
Exactly. Yeah. So we focus on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I would say probably 95% of our clients have at least social media management as a service because they, A, don't have the time for social media, and B, it makes me laugh every time a client says this, but they actually despise social media from a personal standpoint. So they would much rather pass it off to someone else to handle and manage for them.
Okay. And so what type of client would be best positioned to and be set up for success to say, okay, hey, I want somebody to kind of take over my social media?
Yeah. So I say, even though you are delegating your social media, it's crucial to still be involved with the process. We love to make sure that we're still showing photos and videos of our clients. And so it's very, very important that they share that information with us because oftentimes showing the person behind the business is what ends up getting the most engagement. Also being able to share new content ideas. So when clients share with us conversations they've had with their clients or topics they've been thinking about that will be relevant, it's really, really helpful for them to share that information with us so that we can make sure that we're creating a really solid online presence for them. But in terms of the clients that we specifically work with, we tend to work with a lot of service-based businesses. Mm-hmm. So it's anywhere from estate planning attorneys to real estate agents to photographers to other marketing agencies and anything and everything in between.
All right, there you go. And one last time before our very last question, how can people connect with you or Dash of Social online?
You can find us at our website, which is www.dashofsocial.com. And we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dash of Social.
All right. And we have tagged on Twitter, we have tagged on Facebook, and we have tagged on Instagram. So if you're saying, hey, I missed that. Listen, if you're following Sharvette, you'll be able to connect very easily. And Sharvette.com is a great place to go. We have a full blog post about Ashley, and all of the links, connection links are right there. So if you are listening to the podcast, look down below in the show notes and you have the links that you need to get to what you need to get to. Final question. The goal of our show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate Ashley.
I would honestly say just the idea of being able to pursue my passions. I consider myself to be a multi-passionate person, so I'm always coming up with new ideas and purchasing domain names for websites that I may or may not eventually launch one day. But I think just having that flexibility, creativity, and control to do that on my own without necessarily having to report to someone else to get permission to do so is something that definitely inspires me to keep moving forward.
All right. And the last thing, congratulations to your sister. I know
thank you.
Yeah, your
You
sister got married this weekend. So congratulations. And you just back off from the wedding and all the festivities. So hopefully you had a great time there.
I did. And happy belated birthday to you. My mom actually has the same birthday as you yesterday on the 26th.
Great people are born. Libras. Great people are born in September. So thank you so much for stopping by, Ashley. We wish you much more continued success.
Thank you for having me, Sharvette.
All right, you are welcome. All right, lots of great content, lots of great information shared today. Make sure, even if you're listening to the podcast, you can share from the podcast. You can say, hey, this was something to check out. Thank you so much, Terry Jo. Thanks for sharing such valuable information. Thank you so much for being here. Again, this segment is brought to you by Pearls. And here's a little bit about it, and we'll be back to wrap up the show.
The book collaboration, Pearls, is a collection of advice and guidance for women who want to excel in various areas of their life, career, and business. In this engaging combination of intimate stories, thought-provoking guidance, strategic advice, and practical tips, 11 emerging leaders share pearls of wisdom. By the time you finish reading Pearls, you'll walk away with a collection of invisible pearl necklaces that will make you feel empowered. You will have a renewed sense of direction and confidence to face what's next for you. Order your copy of Pearls today.
All right. Again, officially available if you're at Sharvette.com. It's right on the homepage. If you're on Mitchell-Productions.com, our main website, you can get it there. And also it's available all distribution channels. And I joined forces with 10 of my clients who are Platform Builder clients or Platform Builder Mastermind. Carmen Jimenez Pride joins us as a co-author. Erica Brooks is a co-author. Kathy Staten is a co-author. El Tomei Varlak Butler is a co-author. Natalie Bryan is a co-author. Pat Dyer is a co-author. Penny McPherson is a co-author. Spring C. Jackson is a co-author. Dr. Tamara Diaz is a co-author. And Dr. Valerie Harris is a co-author. So if you are connected with any of those co-authors, you can also purchase the book directly from them. Thank you so much to my sister Kim hanging out with us over on YouTube. Great show, great show. Thank you, Dr. Valerie, for being here as always. As we are always bringing you content that we are geared towards entrepreneurs and small business owners. And so certainly if you've been following me, the information Ashley shared is layered with the type of content that we share. So it all works together. So we invite you to check out Sharvette.com, our main website. There you can read the full bio about Ashley, and also all of our past guests and past shows are there. So if you're just brand new to us, and you're like, hey, I like this content, you can go over to Sharvette.com and check it out. If you are a podcast listener, subscribe to our podcast wherever you are listening, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe, and also give us a good rating. Give us a good rating over on the podcast. If you're listening from YouTube and you found this today, or you find it 9 months in the future, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. So go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of great shows that are lined up for you. You all know we are sliding out of the third quarter and sliding into the fourth quarter. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen that may be watching, games are won, but they can be lost, but they can be won in the fourth quarter. So thank you so much to my mom who's here. She's always here shouting us out. All right, it's a wrap. We'll see you all later on the web. If you are a replay listener, just let us know, #replay. We want to come back and show you some love. Until we meet again, peace and love.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.